Revelation chapter 18, verse 1. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. Verse 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen. Now Babylon the Great has fallen. This is the secular Catholic Church been losing domination for a number of years now. And verse 2, is fallen and become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Verse 3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Verse 4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Now come out of her, my people. The Lord is encouraging people to come out of this false religion. Verse 5, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and God has remembered her iniquities. Reward her, even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works, and the cup which she has filled to her double. Verse 7, how much she has glorified herself and lived delicately, so much torment and sorrow give her, for she has said in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Verse 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be burnt utterly with fire, for strong is the Lord God who judges her. Now therefore her plagues come in one day means the nuclear war will destroy a lot of trading countries. Verse 9, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived delicately with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Now the kings of the earth, these are the world leaders who have committed fornication and lived delicately, means the rich of the earth who have served the mammon god, the money god, shall see the smoke of her burning. Verse 10, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. Verse 11, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more. Isaiah chapter 30 verse 25 says, and there shall be upon every high mountain and upon every high hill rivers and streams of water in the day of the great slaughter, when the towers fall. Verse 12, the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones, of pearls and fine linen, and purple and silk and scarlet, and all line wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory, and manner of vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and of iron, and marble, and cinnamon, and odours, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men. And in verse 14, and the fruits of that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. Now, are departed from thee means after the nuclear war there will be much destruction. Joel chapter 2 verses 1 to 5 and verse 10 and 11 says, blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the earth tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong. There hath not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape them. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of the mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. The earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining, and the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great, for he is strong that executes his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? Now, verse 15. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off. In verse 18, and they cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto that great city? Verse 19, and they cast dust on their heads, and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea, by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. Verse 20, Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God has avenged you on her. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. Verse 22, And the voice of harpers and musicians, of pipers, of trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee, and no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee, and the sound of the millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee. Verse 23, And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. Now all nations deceived. A lot of people have been lulled into a sense of false security by thinking that money will bring them happiness, and that owning things gives them security. But they will find out soon that it should have been God that should have been worshipped, and not the things in his creation. Verse 24, And in her was found the blood of the prophets, and of the saints, and of all that was slain upon the earth,